What's going on, bottom line viewers and NFL bettors? It's Mitch here, back with another week of NFL best bets, this time for week 18 of the 2022 NFL season, the final week of this regular season. But don't you worry, we got NFL best bets for the playoffs coming up as well. Last week we went 3-2. This week, we're looking to end this regular season on a high note. Before I give you my best bets for week 18, make sure that you do spike that like button and subscribe to the channel for weekly NFL best bets just like this. Let me know in the comment section below your best bet for week 18. Let's begin with my first pick versus the spread for week 18, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders on Saturday taking on the Chiefs at home. Look, the Raiders lost to the Chiefs by 1 point earlier this year. 1 point. They just played, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL and took them down to the wire. Last possession, the 49ers. Jarrett Stidham is being underestimated with this point spread, disrespected with this point spread. Jarrett Stidham looked really good last week, and it wasn't a fluke. Jarrett Stidham was a 5-star high school recruit. Jarrett Stidham went to Auburn. Jarrett Stidham was drafted in the mid-rounds by the New England Patriots and Josh McDaniels. He has had 3 to 4 years to diagnose and get familiar with this offensive scheme. And that's what we saw with Jarrett Stidham last week. A quarterback that was more comfortable in this system than Derek Carr. And that's why we saw more aggressive playmaking ability. Jarrett Stidham is also very athletic. He has an arm. He can move around. He can extend plays. He can take hits to make throws. This Raiders offense is dynamic when the quarterback is willing to make those plays and those throws. Davante Adams is unstoppable. There's nobody on Kansas City stopping this guy. Josh Jacobs ran for 7 yards a carry. Josh Jacobs ran for over 150 yards in the first game. Darren Waller didn't really even play. He's back. Hunter Renfrow. They got all their weapons. The offensive line is great in the run game and can push everybody around. I was extremely shocked with how well the Raiders ran the ball versus the 49ers last week. If they can do that to the 49ers, they can do that to anybody. So the Raiders will possess the ball, utilize play action for big explosive plays, and again, people will be surprised with how well Jarrett Stidham plays in this game, forcing Mahomes to match him in this game. Patrick Mahomes will be able to match him because the Raiders defense is not very good. There's a reason they're 9.5-point dogs here. But you got the home crowd on your side. You also have Max Crosby who can make big plays as a pass rusher. And you have a team that I feel offensively can possess the ball and keep Mahomes on the sidelines. I also look at the Chiefs being a team that if they get ahead, they're not exactly that team that puts their foot on the gas. They oftentimes play with their food. They don't cover big spreads for a reason because they get sloppy. Even versus the worst defenses in the league like the Seattle Seahawks, they get sloppy. So I feel the Raiders will hang around in this game. 9.5 is way too many points because honestly, I get it. Derek Carr isn't playing. Jarrett Stidham played better than he did all year last week. I really truthfully believe that. Yeah, Chandler Jones is out. Denzel Perryman, that's great. The Raiders defense wasn't stopping anybody anyways. I'm riding with McDaniels, riding with this Raiders team who's playing hard and playing to the end. They're playing with house money, and they're looking to win their Super Bowl essentially in this game. My second best bet for week number 18 is the Tennessee Titans getting 6.5 points versus the Jacksonville Jags on the road. This is a Mike Vrabel underdog spot. And Mike Vrabel has been known to come up clutch in these situations. When everybody is doubting him, when everybody thinks he's going to lose, when nobody thinks the Titans have a chance, Mike Vrabel and the Titans come through. I'm not sure they're going to win this game, but I do know it will be close. Because what I saw last week from the Titans was a team that wasn't going to back down. The Titans played the Cowboys with numerous starters out of the game very hard. And they made that game more interesting than I ever thought it would be. And this defense is really stout versus the run. I don't think Jacksonville is going to be able to run the ball at all. Jeffrey Simmons is back. They are amazing versus the run. Now they have a lot more in the back end healthy. Hooker, healthy. Fulton, healthy. Danico Autry as a pass rusher, healthy. All these guys are going to be back for this game. All of those guys didn't play in the first matchup. Plus, Treylon Burks didn't play in the first matchup. Derrick Henry had a really nice day, averaging 7 yards a carry, but he fumbled a couple times. Ryan Tannehill had some success through the air, but he threw a pick. 4 turnovers in the first game. I don't expect that to happen this time. I feel that there's going to be some regression in terms of this matchup that we saw earlier in the year. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be as spectacular as he was in the first game because the Titans are healthier on defense. They'll have a better plan the second time around. And the Titans won't turn the ball over as many times. I think this comes down to one possession. Josh Dobbs is an upgrade over Malik Willis. He can make the plays. He can make plays with his arm or his legs. I think they're going to get him out in space. I feel that they have some deceptively good playmakers that can create some plays in the passing game. And if they are able to run it, that's really going to stress this Jacksonville defense, who hasn't really played anyone on offense as of late. I think that Tennessee hangs around this game. They might even win it. I like the 6.5 points with the dog, Mike Vrabel, and the Tennessee Titans. My third best bet for Week 18 is the Los Angeles Rams getting 6.5 points at Seattle. I understand that this looks ugly because the Rams don't need to win and the Seahawks do for a chance to make the playoffs. I get it. The Rams looked terrible versus the Chargers, and the Seahawks looked good at home versus the Jets. But this is a division rivalry game within the NFC West. We saw these two teams play earlier in the year, and the Rams lost by 4. That was not with Matthew Stafford. They did not have Cooper Kupp. They did not have Aaron Donald. They had John Wolford. Okay? I do believe that Baker Mayfield is an upgrade over John Wolford. I do believe that the Rams will be able to run the ball versus Seahawks defense that's pretty weak versus the run, especially with Jordan Brooks, their best player on defense maybe, at least their best front 7 player being out, their leading tackler. That's going to be a significant loss in that category, in that area, in that matchup. I like the Rams to run the ball. I think that opens up the ability for Baker to make some plays off of play action where he's comfortable. And I believe the Rams will score points. I do. Defensively, I think that the Rams can stop the run, as they've been pretty solid versus the run all year long. I think Seattle will not be able to run all over their opponent like they did last week, the New York Jets. And I feel the Rams are very good situationally on defense, third down and red zone, and will limit the points scored by Geno Smith and company. Geno played well in the first game. I don't expect him to be playing that well in this game just because he hasn't been playing as well as he did back then overall, and teams have kind of figured him out a bit better. Jalen Ramsey can match up with DK Metcalf on certain plays and kind of limit his ability. And this is an inflated line overall, right? Like I said, they lost by 4 in the first game. Vegas knows that people are going to bet on Seattle because they have to win. And the Rams are kind of a gross team to back here. That's exactly why I like them, because this game looks like one that's going to be a one-possession game. McVay versus Pete Carroll has oftentimes been won by Sean McVay. I expect the Rams to play hard in their final game of this season. There's no reason not to. It's not like they have their draft pick. So give me the Rams plus 6.5 versus the Seahawks. My fourth best bet of week number 18 is the New York Jets, the Jets, Jets, to knock off the Miami Dolphins in Miami. I simply am not a fan of Skylar Thompson. I don't believe in Skylar Thompson. I witnessed him play awful versus my Patriots last week. I thought he was terrible. And I do know that if you can win a game with Zach Wilson versus this same opponent with this same quarterback, 40-17, you can win a game with Mike White. I know that. The Jets defense, I feel, matches up pretty well with Miami's offense. Miami is built on speed and ability after the catch. The Jets have a fast defense. They're able to penetrate, they're able to tackle, and cover really well. They've got an excellent back end with great cover corners. And I believe Quinnen Williams and John Franklin Myers will really dominate the line of scrimmage, and it'll be tough for Skylar Thompson to get anything going through the passing game. I don't believe Mike McDaniel's going to stick with the run enough because he never does. And on the flip side, I could see Mike White having a nice bounce back day with Garrett Wilson having some mismatches on the outside. Dolphins love to blitz and play man coverage. I think White makes some plays down the field to these receivers. I could see the Jets having more success through the air than anticipated. Dolphins have a lot of injuries, including Chubb, Howard, Armstead. The Jets also have injuries on the offensive line. But I'm counting on the Jets to come through here. I just don't like Miami, how they're playing on defense and their quarterback position. I'm going to ride with the Jets to finish their season strong and knock Miami out of the playoffs. My fifth and final best bet for week number 18 is the Detroit Lions getting 4.5 points on the road at Lambeau Field. I probably lean towards the Packers winning the game, but 4.5 points just feels like too many between these two teams. I don't think there's that much separating these two teams. I think they're very even. Both offenses, I feel, are pretty good right now, but the Lions is more explosive. The Lions can dictate the game, the way that they run the football. They dominate the line of scrimmage, and I think Jared Goff can have a lot of success through some play action versus this Packers secondary. Packers are good versus the pass, but play action is one of their biggest weaknesses. The run game is one of their biggest weaknesses. That lines up perfectly with what the Lions want to do offensively. On the other side of the ball, the Lions did a great job stopping the Packers' run game in the first matchup. I don't think they'll do as well of a job, but I still feel they can force Rodgers to make plays with his receivers through the passing game, and I'm still not sure that the Packers are super confident in being a pass-first team. I think they really want to be a run-first team. They're not able to get that run game going. I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on these receivers and Aaron Rodgers to make plays. So I look at this game and I say, I think the Lions can score. I think the Lions can go toe-to-toe in a shootout with Aaron Rodgers. And if their defense comes through and makes some plays, they could potentially even win this game. I know some people are worried about the Lions taking this game off, not trying because they might be eliminated beforehand if Seattle wins. But I just don't see a Dan Campbell team laying down and not trying. I actually think that helps them because there's no pressure at all. So they're just going to go out there and go for it. So I like the Lions plus the points versus the Packers on Sunday Night Football. Those are my 5 best bets for the final week of the NFL regular season. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, Gronk spike the like button. Subscribe for more. It's Mitch. Peace.